Hey, this is Byron Brown, the anti-lawyer. I know I don't look like it, but I'm an actual lawyer and I have been one for 20 years. Today I'm gonna break down Kyle Rittenhouse's potential defamation lawsuit against LeBron James and Joe Biden. Defamation is a hard thing to prove, but I think Rittenhouse may have a case against Joe Biden, and I'll get into that, but I do not believe he will be successful if he files a lawsuit against LeBron James. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. So I get a lot of phone calls in my law practice about defamation. People indicating that a friend or an old friend is talking crap about them on some social network or the like, and they believe it has hurt their reputation to the point that they've been defamed, they've suffered damages, and they want to file a lawsuit. This is the thing. It's really hard to prove defamation. And then there's a difference between if you're a private citizen or a public figure. If you're a private citizen, the standard for defamation is a little lower. If you're a public figure, it's much higher. Regardless, there's basically 4 elements of defamation that you have to prove. The first element will be a false statement purported to be fact. So that would say, hey, Bobby moved a dead body. That's a statement that I'm alleging to be fact. The second element would be that that statement has to be published to a third party. Also, that could be in a newspaper, it could be on the radio, it could be on social media, anything that would disseminate that information to a third party. Now, the third element, this is where it varies. If you're just a regular public citizen, then the standard is negligence. And if you're a public figure, again, depending on your jurisdiction, it has to be reckless or malice. And this is what I mean when I say that. The statement that you made or that the alleged person made to defame you, if they make it just, basically it's a negligent statement, just meaning they were a little sloppy with their mouth. Well, you can see how that's a fairly easy standard to meet. However, if you're a public figure, and this is where we're gonna get into a little debate about whether Rittenhouse is a public figure or a private citizen, but if you're a public figure, you gotta prove actual malice or recklessness. That means that you gotta prove that the person who allegedly defamed you intentionally made the statement to hurt you, knowing it to be false. It's a hard thing to prove, but it can be proved. Now, the fourth element is harm. Now again, let's say if someone alleged that someone was a pedophile, well, I think you could say the harm is automatic, right? Someone alleging to be a pedophile is definitely harmful. However, if someone just says, hey, he kicked his dog, well, that in and of itself, I don't think at first blush would mean that someone was harmed. So let's look at Rittenhouse, what LeBron James says, and then what Joe Biden said. So LeBron James's statement on social media, and we're pulling it up right now, he essentially, the defamation part of it is, there's a picture of Kyle Rittenhouse crying, and LeBron James says, that boy ate some lemon heads before walking into court. Now there's some pretext before that, but none of it would relate to a defamation statement in my opinion. So we have a false statement purported to be fact. He's alleging that he ate lemon heads before he went into court. He published it by posting it to social media. Now, let's say it's just a negligent statement. Well, if Rittenhouse is considered to be a private citizen, which I think he more likely than not would be, then the statement could be negligent, right? Just a little sloppy with his mouth, but then there's harm. Well, what's the harm in saying that someone ate lemon heads? I don't think that passes the mustard, so I don't think filing a lawsuit against LeBron James gets you anywhere other than it gets you a bunch of publicity. Now, let's look at Joe Biden's statement. Well, Joe Biden came out and called Kyle Rittenhouse a white supremacist. Now, alleging someone ate some lemon drops, alleging someone's a white supremacist, I think we can see that just at first blush is way different. So Joe Biden made a statement purported to be fact. He called him a white supremacist. He published it by saying it, and other people republished it to third parties, so that element is met. Negligence or reckless or malice. Well, it doesn't matter in my opinion if he's a private citizen and it's a negligent statement, or he's a public figure and it's actual malice. Joe Biden likely had zero information to confirm that Rittenhouse was a white supremacist. There's no pictures of Rittenhouse wearing a white hood at meetings with, racist tattoos or anything like that. Other than maybe he did some things that allegedly could cause people to believe that he has a racial tendency. Maybe we could say that, but going to the next level and calling someone a white supremacist, I believe causes harm, which is the last element, the fourth element for Rittenhouse. So I do believe that Rittenhouse, if files a lawsuit against Joe Biden, would be successful. Now, we think about the damages. What damage did Rittenhouse incur as a result of Joe Biden alleging that he's a white supremacist? Well, one could make the argument that that actually helped him, because now it seems he's a poster child for the far right. But if Rittenhouse says, hey, look I had these speaking engagements that were going to pay me tens of thousands of dollars, and now because he was called a white supremacist, he doesn't have those speaking engagements, or something like that where he can quantify his damages, he could very well be successful. So what I mean when I say that he could be successful against Biden, meaning I think he meets the elements, but then I don't know if he'd be able to prove his damages. Because again, I don't know what he's been damaged. But out of the two, the LeBron James and Joe Biden, I think Rittenhouse has a better case against Joe Biden, but we'll see. And what I mean by that is, a lot of times these cases settle. The other thing, Rittenhouse could just be blowing a lot of hot air. He hasn't actually filed a lawsuit yet, so time will tell. I appreciate you guys watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if there's any videos or the like that you'd like my legal analysis on, please leave it in the comments. I appreciate it.